A Military Job Guide 1. Chapter 1. A Military Job Guide 1. U.S. Military Services Job Websites. defense.gov/pub/magazines.html. todaysmilitary.com/careers. info@todaysmilitary.com. todaysmilitary.com. armytimes.com. navytimes.com. airforcetimes.com. marinecorpstimes.com. Military Times. Citeline Media Group. Vienna, Virginia 22182. Tel 703-750-7400. militarytimes.com. United States Air Force. airforce.com. United States Army. gourmet.com. United States Coast Guard. gocoastguard.com. United States Marine Corps. marines.com. United States Navy. navy.com. Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, ASVAB, Test. official-asvab.com. The Oath of Enlistment. mepcom.army.mil. United States Air Force Recruiting Service. airforce.com. United States Army Recruiting Command. Tel 888-550 Army. gourmet.com. United States Coast Guard Recruiting. 2703 Martin Luther King Jr. Ave, S.E. Washington, D.C. 20593-7000. gocoastguard.com. Marine Corps, visit the Recruiting Command. mcrc.marines.mil. United States Marine Corps Recruiting Command. 3280 Russell Road 2nd floor. Quantico, Virginia 22134. Tel 703-784-9454. marines.com. United States Navy Recruiting Command. 5722 Integrity Drive. Millington, Tennessee 38054. Tel 800, USA Navy. navy.com. ASVAB, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, or ASVAB, is a mandatory written examination required of every applicant, no matter the branch. asvabprogram.com for more information. military.com/join-armed-forces. Air National Guard. ang.af.mil. The Army National Guard consists of civilians who serve their country. Army National Guard. 111 South George Mason Drive. Arlington, Virginia 22204. 800, Go Guard. arng-public-website at mail.mil. arng.ng.mil. United States Air Force Recruiting Service. airforce.com. Undergo a physical, participate in a pre-enlistment interview. Take the oath of enlistment. Visit mepcom.army.mil. Service Members Opportunity Colleges, SOC. Traditional courses in brick and mortar schools. E-learning. soc.aascu.org. airforce.com. asisonline.org. asisonline.org/publications. moa.org. securityjobs.asisonline.org. sbfpa.org. Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery/ASVAB. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery/ASVAB is the test the U.S. military gives to new recruits to help them, the military, decide where they will place. Even though you state your preferences, you get what this aptitude says you're good at. There are practice tests around to study for this test in order to help increase your chances that you will get to enter the field you want. 1800goguard.com/guides/asvab.html. afsc.org/youthmil/militarism-in-schools/asvab. armedforcescarers.com/enlistment requirements. armedforcescarers.com/military placementists. asvab.com asvib.org, asvibprogram.com, asvib.us, finaid.org/military/recruiting.phdml, gormy.com/popups/asvib_sample_test.html, military.com/asvib. Coast Guard info. The Coast Guard is a paramilitary organization that guards the coastal waters and rescues people. uscg.mil/top/careers.asp, US Coast Guard. uscg.mil/civilian, US Coast Guard civilian jobs. gocoastguard.com/find-your-career/reserve-opportunities, United States Coast Guard, reserve opportunities. gocoastguard.com. uscg.mil/hq/cgpc/cpm/jobs/vacancy.htm. gocoastguard.com. US Coast Guard. 14180 Dallas Parkway. Number 326. Dallas, Texas 75240-4373. 800 get USCG. 800-424-8883. uscg.mil/jobs. gocoastguard.com. US Coast Guard Academy. 31 Mohegan Avenue, New London, Connecticut 06320. 800-883-8724. 860-444-8444. uscgatr@dsq.wcga.edu. cga.edu. U.S. Department of Defense websites. acc.af.mil, Air Combat Command. acq.osd.mil, Acquisition and Technology. af.mil/news/radio.aspx, Air Force Radio News in Real Audio. afmc.af.mil, Air Force Material Command. afrri.usus.mil, Armed Forces Radiobiology Research Institute. afsoc.af.mil, Air Force Special Operations Command. airforce.com, United States Air Force. airforcereserve.com, Air Force Reserve. amc.ati.org, American Metal Casting Consortium. ang.af.mil, Air National Guard. arl.army.mil/www/default.htm, Army Research Laboratory. army.mil, United States Army. army.mil/info/institution/public affairs, U.S. Army Public Affairs. army.mil/info/organization/ccom, Army Communications Electronics Command, CCOM. armymantech.com, U.S. Army Mantech. armymwr.com, MWR. asafm.army.mil/secretariat/asafm.asp, Assistant Secretary of the Army for Financial Management and Controller, ASA, FMNC. asc.army.mil, Army Acquisition. atd.net, Advanced Technology Demonstration Network. bmpco.org, Best Manufacturing Practices. bmpco.org/best practices/internal/IOC, U.S. Army Industrial Operations Command. cascom.army.mil, U.S. Army Combined Arms Support Command, CASCOM. cdi.org, Center for Defense Information. cordis.europa.eu/infocc/home.html, infosec. cpms.osd.mil, DOD Civilian Personnel Management Service. cs.amd.army.mil, U.S. Army Medical Department. darpa.mil, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. dau.mil, Defense Acquisition University. dauaa.org, DAU Alumni Association. defenselink.mil, Department of Defense, Defense Link. dfas.mil, Defense Financing and Accounting Service. dinfos.dma.mil, Defense Information School. disa.mil, Defense Information Systems Agency. disa.mil/services/about-us/joint-spectrum-center, joint spectrum center. disa-m.dsca.mil, Defense Institute of Security Assistance Management. dla.mil, Defense Logistics Agency. .mantech.com, Manufacturing Technology Program, Mantech. dsca.mil, Defense Security Cooperation Agency. dscc.dla.mil, Defense Construction Supply Center. dtic.mil/pfi, Partnering for Fiscal Integrity. envirolink.org/resource.html ?item ID =205 cat ID =4, Department of Navy Environmental Program. flra.gov/decisions/v35/35-012-4.html, Navy Public Works Center, Norfolk. FERSCOM.army.mil, Army Forces Command, Forscom. gormy.com/jag.html, Judge Advocate General. gormy.com/jag.html, Judge Advocate General's Corps. gordon.army.mil, Signal Corps. hill.af.mil, Defense Megacenter Ogden, DMCO. history.navy.mil, Naval Historical Center. maya.usno.navy.mil, National Earth Orientation Service. marines.mil, United States Marine Corps. msc.navy.mil, Military Sealift Command. navair.navy.mil, Naval Air Systems Command. navair.navy.mil/NAWCAD, Naval Air Warfare Center, Aircraft Division, Pax River. navair.navy.mil/NACWD, Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division. naval-technology.com, Naval Technology. navy.mil, United States Navy. ncca.navy.mil, Naval Center for Cost Analysis. ndc.ctc.com, National Defense Center for Environmental Excellence. nrl.navy.mil, Naval Research Laboratory. onr.navy.mil, Office of Naval Research. onr.navy.mil/sci_tech/3t/mantech, U.S. Navy Mantech. payostri.army.mil, U.S. Army Simulation Training and Instrumentation Command, STRICOM. procnit.pica.army.mil, Procurement Information Network. redstone.army.mil, U.S. Army Missile Command. sell2airforce.org, Air Force Small Business Homepage. spaar.navy.mil, Spa Wars Homepage. stsc.hill.af.mil, Software Technology Support Center, STSC. tatarc.org, DOD Telemedicine. thetacs.com, DACS, Data and Analysis Center for Software. tno.nl, Netherlands Organization for Defense Research. usairforce.af.mil, United States Air Forces in Europe. usar.army.mil, U.S. Army Reserve Command. usarpac.army.mil, U.S. Army Pacific, USARPAC. usno.navy.mil, U.S. Naval Observatory, USNO. wpafb.af.mil, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. U.S. Military/ROTC Career 1. The military is a good way to get a trade or a college education through the officer training program. By the Montgomery Bill, if you enlist in the ranks and agree to pay about $100 out of your pay for 12 months, the military will subsidize your college education for about 3 years when you get out. If you decide to go into the military, my best advice is to pick a trade that has practical applications in the civilian sector. Don't let them snow you on some macho field that has no value out in the civilian world. Don't become a paratrooper just because it's macho. Become a medic, a driver, an administrator, anything that will help you get a trade when you get out. If you want to see the world, join the Navy. They routinely travel all over the place. In the ROTC Scholarship Program, the military covers the cost of tuition, fees, and textbooks and also provides a monthly allowance. Scholarship recipients participate in summer training while in college and fulfill a service commitment after college, usually about 4 years. The standards are high, SAT, 1250, and usually prefer a technical type major like engineering. If you serve at least 2 years in the military, you became a veteran and are entitled to many benefits and programs. Check with the VA. When you get out. Beyond the military, there are good benefits involved by being in either the reserves or the National Guard. defenselink.mil/other_info/careers. military.com/careers/education. afots.af.mil, Air Force ROTC. cnet.navy.mil, Navy ROTC. tradoc.army.mil/ROTC, Army ROTC. usarotc.com/drot/drot.htm, us Army Junior ROTC. usarotc.com/money.htm, us Army ROTC scholarships. af.mil, U.S. Air Force. army.mil, U.S. Army. usmc.mil, U.S. Marine Corps. navy.mil, U.S. Navy. U.S. Military Entrance. Processing Command. 2500 Green Bay Road, Chicago, Illinois 60064-3094. 847-688-3680. info@mepcom.army.mil. mepcom.army.mil. Book Military Careers, a guide to military occupations and selected military paths. af.mil. army.mil. marines.com. navy.mil. todaysmilitary.com. usmc.mil. uscg.mil. hqmc.usmc.mil, Marines. U.S. Military/ROTC Career 2. Naval School of Health Sciences. 8901 Wisconsin Avenue, Bethesda, Maryland 20889-5611. nshs.med.navy.mil. ROTC, Air Force. Office of Recruiting. 551 East Maxwell Boulevard, Maxwell, AFB, Alabama 36112-6106. 800-522-0033. 334-953-2091. Fax, 334-953-6167. afots.af.mil. ROTC, Army. POB 3279. Warminster, Pennsylvania 18974. 800 USA ROTC. ArmyROTC.com. ROTC, Navy and Marine Corps. 800 NAV ROTC. U.S. Army. 800 USA Army. Gourmet.com. U.S. Air Force. 800-423 U.S. Air Force. Airforce.com. U.S. Air Force Academy. 2304 Cadet Drive, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80840. 800-443-9266. 719-333-1110. usafa.af.mil. U.S. Navy. 800 USA Navy. NavyJobs.com. U.S. Marines. 800 Marines. U.S. Army Reserve. 800 USA Army. GourmetReserve.com. U.S. Navy Reserve. 800 USA USNR. U.S. Air Force Reserve. 800-257-1212. U.S. Department of Defense. Human Resource Service Center. Alexandria, Virginia 22333. 703-617-7178. hrsc.osd.mil/train. U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Kings Point. Director, Office of Maritime Administration. U.S. Department of Transportation. Washington, D.C. 20590. 800-732-6267. usmma.edu. U.S. Military Academy. Stony Lonesome RD. West Point, New York 10996. 914-938-4041. usmma.edu. U.S. Naval Academy. 121 Blake Road. Annapolis, Maryland 21402. 800-638-9156. 410-293-1000. naden.navy.mil. Military Special Forces Career. today'smilitary.com/careers/job-listings/special-forces, military. navy.com/enlisted/special ops, SEAL, military. Chapter 2. A Military Job Guide 2. Specific military job websites. af.mil, U.S. Air Force official website. afreserve.com, careers with the U.S. Air Force Reserves. dfas.mil, Defense Finance and Accounting Service. airforce.com, U.S. Air Force, call 1-800-423 U.S. Air Force. airforce.com/careers, United States Air Force, U.S. Air Force. Army.mil, Army's main site. bls.gov/opub/2007/spring/art02.pdf, military training for civilian careers. cid.army.mil/join_cid.html, careers with the U.S. Army Criminal Investigative Command. commissaries.com/inside_deca/hr/index.cfm, careers with the Defense Commissary Agency. cpol.army.mil, careers with the U.S. Army civilian jobs. dca.mil/career-center/index.htm, careers with the Defense Contract Audit Agency. dcma.mil/careers/index.cfm, careers with the Defense Contract Management Agency. dfas.mil/careers.html, careers with the Defense Finance and Accounting. dfas.mil/careers/students/op for graduates.html, careers with Defense Finance. dfas.mil/civilian employees.html, careers with the Defense Finance and Accounting. dia.mil/careers, careers with the Defense Intelligence Agency. dota.edu/offices/hr/index.cfm, careers with the Department of Defense Education Activity. doteg.mil/careers, careers with the Defense Office of Inspector General. doteg.mil/careers, careers with the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General. doteg.mil/careers.htm, careers with the Defense Criminal Investigative Service. dtr.mil/careers.aspx, careers with the Defense Threat Reduction Agency. gonji.com/careers, careers with the U.S. Air National Guard. gormy.com, the U.S. Army recruiting homepage, call 1-800 USA Army. gormy.com/careers, U.S. Army, U.S. Army. gormy.com/reserve.html, careers with the U.S. Army Reserve. godefense.cpms.osd.mil, careers in national defense. godefense.cpms.osd.mil, careers with the civilian careers in national defense. hr.dla.mil, careers with the Defense Logistics Agency, DLA. Marines.com, careers with the United States Marine Corps. Marines.com, U.S. Marine Corps, 800, Marines. GoCoastGuard.com, Go Coast Guard, a division of the Department of Homeland Security. NationalGuard.com, careers with the U.S. Army National Guard. Navy.com, opportunities with the U.S. Navy, call 1-800 USA Navy. Navy.com/careers, careers with the U.S. Navy. Navy.mil, Navy's website. Navy.mil/swf/index.asp, careers with the United States Navy civilian jobs. NavyReserve.com/careers.html.s. Naval Reserve. ncis.navy.mil/careers/pages/default.aspx, careers with the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. nga.mil/careers/pages/default.aspx, careers with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. odin.aafes.com/employment/default.asp, careers with the Army and Air Force Exchange. osi.andrews.af.mil/questions/topic.asp?ID=1142, careers with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. pfpa.mil/employment, careers with the Pentagon Force Protection Agency. todaysmilitary.com. uzaki.army.mil/careers.aspx, careers with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. uscg.mil, Coast Guard. uscg.mil/civilian, careers with the United States Coast Guard. Civilian jobs, U.S. Coast Guard. uscg.mil/top/careers.asp, careers with the United States Coast Guard. usmc-mccs.org/careers, Marine Corps Community Services. usmma.edu, US Merchant Marine Academy operated by the Marathi.dot.gov, Maritime Administration. whs.mil/hrd, careers with the Human Resource Services Center. Civilian jobs in the military/NAF, non-appropriated funding, jobs in the military/civilian military defense job websites. armycivilianservice.com, civilian opportunities with the US Army. armycivilianservice.usajob.gov. cpms.osd.mil/expeditionary, civilian expeditionary workforce, US Department of Defense. defenselink.mil/sites/c.html #civ jobs, opportunities for civilian careers within the Department of Defense. defensenews.com, get a list of companies that have contracts with the government. godefense.cpms.osd.mil, careers in national defense, operated by the Defense Applicant Assistance Office, civilian positions with the US Department of Defense. MyNavyExchange.com/work for us, the Navy Exchange Service Command, retail stores and services, Navy lodges, the Uniform Program Management Office, Navy Clothing Textile and Research Facility, NCTRF. NAFjobs.com, NAF jobs for all facilities on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. NAFjobs.org, NAF jobs on all air bases worldwide. odedodia.edu/pers, Department of Defense civilian jobs. qol.navyames.net/personnel/employment.aspx, Commander Navy Installations Command. shopmyexchange.com/aboutexchange/careers, careers with the Army and Air Force Exchange Service. usmc-mccs.org/employ, Marine Corps Community Services civilian careers. nafjobs.org, the official source for NAF jobs on all air bases worldwide. You can select a base and review the listings. nafjobs.com, the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, MWR, Non-Appropriated Funds, NAF, jobs website for all facilities on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. usmc-mccs.org/employ, Marine Corps Community Services civilian careers, civilian support positions at marine bases across the US and in Japan. mynavyexchange.com/work for us, work for us, the Navy Exchange Service Command, NEXCOM, headquartered in Virginia Beach, VA. shopmyexchange.com/aboutexchange/careers/index.htm, careers with the Army and Air Force Exchange Service, the Exchange. armycivilianservice.com, Army Civilian Service links to civilian opportunities with the US Army. armycivilianservice.usajob.gov. cfo-search.com, CFO Search. An executive search firm that specializes in recruiting candidates with finance, defense, aerospace, or government contracting backgrounds. yourdefcon1.com, Defense Career Opportunities Newsletter. marylandcareers.org/intel.html, the defense industry, a guide to employment information and opportunities in the defense industry. MarylandCareers.org. DefenseIndustryCentral.com, DefenseTalent.com, the Defense Talent Network. Janes.com/products/Janes/news, Defense and Security News. WID.India.org, Women in Defense. Military pilot job websites. Today'sMilitary.com/futures-magazine. Defense.gov/pubs/magazines.html for links to a variety of publications published by the Armed Forces. To learn more about combat school experience, as well as pilot proficiency training, visit Air Combat USA, 3815 West Commonwealth Avenue, Fullerton, California 92833. 800-522-7590. info@aircombat.com. aircombat.com. defense-aerospace.com. Brigante et Associate Copyright S. Neuilly-sur-Seine 92200 France. 0147474934. admin@defense-aerospace.com. defense-aerospace.com. Citeline Media Group. Vienna, Virginia 22182. 703-750-7400. militarytimes.com. airforce.com. navy.com/careers/aviation.html. United States Coast Guard Recruiting. 2703 Martin Luther King Jr. Ave, S.E. Washington, D.C. 20593-7000. GoCoastGuard.com.